Hello there, welcome to Cool Talk, and this is my take on Sunday's Oscars, and what a disappointment. And I want to touch on this, even though this is kind of a rush job, as you can see right over here. First thing I'm going to say is that people have become so sensitive and afraid of political correctness that for the last couple of years we have had no host at the Oscars, and the pain shows. Sunday night, we needed somebody funny there to move things along. We had none of that because we have to be so sensitive. And you can't find a comic host who doesn't have something in his past or her past to offend somebody. And yet, think about it. They held part of the Oscars at Union Station. And before they did, they had to clear the homeless out of there so they could hold the event. And then the Oscar goes to Nomadland, a movie about the homeless. Talk about sensitivity. Anyway, one of the first problems were the films. You couldn't really go to the movies and see these on the big screen, and you can't really appreciate the films on TV, especially slow-moving films like Nomadland and Mank. And perhaps this is why I didn't really appreciate those two films. If you're at home watching television and the movie is slow, you get easily distracted, go to the fridge, and so on and so forth. Not the best way to catch a picture. Now, I'm glad for the winners. I'm very pleased for those who won. I'm glad that Yaun Young-jung won for Minari. She was my choice. I didn't think she was going to win, but she was my choice. In my last video, I have to apologize. I kept mispronouncing Andra Day's name. I said Amanda Day, which is wrong. My apologies there. But moving on, I am going to talk about the fiasco about Best Actor going to Anthony Hopkins, who was deserving, and not Chadwick Boseman. I'll speak about that in just a moment. One of the problems with the Oscars this year, of course, the pandemic had to eliminate a lot of the glamour that goes with the Oscars. But think about that. If you're an athlete and you're crossing the country and you're participating in several small events and you finally get to the Olympics, everybody expects to see fireworks and big backdrops and a huge setting. In this case, we had what looked like a DJ playing the music in a small setting. We used to have about 50 men and women with gowns and tuxes playing the orchestra. We didn't get that this year. And I know the pandemic had to do with that. But if that's the case and you want to have an entertaining show, at the very least, show film clips of the nominees to entertain the audience. For example, when they showed visual effects, instead of just reading off the names of the nominees, show us the visual effects. I don't know these people. Tenet won for visual effects. I didn't see Tenet. I would have liked to see at least one visual effect. I mean, if they're going to do that, you might as well have the ceremony on Zoom and be done with it. Now, the biggest mistake of the evening was this. They mixed the order. Always, Best Picture was the last award to be given out. This year, they decided to give out Best Picture and then presented Best Actress and Best Actor. I was so thrown off by this that I actually went to the web to say, did I miss something? Did I miss part of the show? But I think what happened here was they thought that Chadwick Boseman was going to win Best Actor. They wanted to end the show on that note. And this is why I think that instead of having the Best Actor of last year present the award to the Best Actress of this year and vice versa, they had Renee Zellweger, did I pronounce that right, present the award to Best Actress. And then Joaquin Phoenix was going to present to Best Actor. He was the final award of the evening. And I guess what they thought was Chadwick Boseman would win Best Actor and Joaquin Phoenix would present the award to Chadwick Boseman's widow. That did not happen. And by the way, Anthony Hopkins was very well deserving. I was a bit surprised that he won. He was surprised that he won. And he wasn't even there, but that's fine. He's an 83-year-old man. We can't expect him to fly from Wales, hit London, and then fly over to Los Angeles. It's just too risky for a man of his age. Now, I think someone said that he wanted to, if he won, he wanted to be able to give his thanks via Zoom, and that was turned down, as it was turned down to everybody else. But anyway, Hopkins won. Chadwick Boseman did not. Joaquin Phoenix accepted the award for Chadwick Boseman, or the Academy accepted the award through Joaquin Phoenix, and he walked off stage, and that was the end of it. Now, the worst part about it is this, that Best Picture is a collaboration of director, writers, actors, cinematographers, editors, and so on. It should be the last award of the evening. All the individual awards are given out first. Best Picture is the last one. I think it was a disservice to the makers of Nomadland. And by the way, I didn't really care for Nomadland, but I give credit where credit is due. It won Best Picture. They should have had the opportunity to go there last, accept the award, have that crowd of people up there cheering, and end the show on that note. They didn't do that. As far as fixing the Oscars, this has been talked about before, and I think one of the problems is that the Oscars is looking for ratings, and I think that is a lost battle. Today, with streaming, where you can see the winners on YouTube the next day, or even that same night as the awards are being given out, you have to kind of give up on the battle for ratings and get back to the root source. The Oscars are losing their target audience, the film lovers, and a lot of the film lovers of old. Go back to the glamour of before. They could have spiced things up a little bit, as I mentioned, with film clips. Maybe have a smaller orchestra, a little bit of class. I'm not saying that DJ wasn't classy, but even the decorations of this year's Oscars, those huge cards or postcards that look like, with all that color, look like you were being invited to a brunch instead of to the Oscars. Something else, less political speeches. Now that's a losing battle. If Leonardo DiCaprio wins an Oscar, as he did in the past, he's not going to pass off the opportunity of not saying something about the environment when he has an audience of 1 billion worldwide. We can't expect that. But when there is a divisive issue and you go up there and you start giving your opinion, and if it's a divisive issue, the audience will be divided and, to a huge point, turned off. I don't know how they're going to be able to stop that from occurring, but I will say that is one of the drawbacks and one of the reasons that people are turned off. All the political correctness and all the divisive issues keep getting in the way of the Oscars. We want to celebrate movies. So next time, I would say in memoriam, when they honor those who passed away that year, slow down that video a bit. That's one complaint that I had. They kind of sped it up. I guess they had too many people they wanted to honor. The Lifetime Tribute Award, I guess they give it separately. I didn't see any of that this year. And by the way, I missed a huge chunk of the beginning of the Oscars, and it's a long story. But to go back to what the Oscars were, show film clips, celebrate the movies, pack it in, especially in a year like this where they don't really have the glamour that they normally aspire to. They couldn't because of the pandemic. In that case, I don't know what happened. Director Steven Soderbergh, who's been nominated several times, should know better. He was the producer of the show this year, director of the Oscars this year, and I would say he blew it. So we'll see what happens next year, and I really hope that COVID dies down. I hope it goes away. I don't see that that's going to happen in 1 year, but at least if it's controlled to the point where we can go back to going to the movies, and on a more important note, that less people die, obviously. But sticking to the premise at hand, the Oscars, hopefully by next year we'll have an Oscars ceremony, and that we can learn from this event of this year how to spice things up from next year. I think they're going to go back to having only 5 Best Picture nominees instead of 8 or 10, which has been the norm for the last several years. I think we need to go back to that. Only the 5 highest prestigious films of the year, or most respected films of the year, should get the nominations. And on that note, I don't have that much to add to this. This is kind of a rush job. I'm sure I'll think of something else later. But if you can like this video, it would be very much appreciated. Better yet, subscribe and send me your comments. In the meantime, this is Cool Talk.